What's up? I am Matty Ice, and this is the 2024-2025 NFL QB tier list. I'm making this right before the season starts. Pretty much, I'm uploading it today, the date that you see here. I haven't gone through this at all. We're just gonna keep it raw. Like my QB tier list and my sports predictions are accurate. I would even say is accurate, if not more accurate than stuff that you see on ESPN for sure. And yeah, feel free to voice your opinion on this. I'll be honest, like half these QBs, I have no idea who they are. Like this guy, I just don't know. And if I don't recognize who you are, you're probably going to be in I tier. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with Josh Allen. And I always feel like something is missing from his game, but he's got to be an A tier quarterback because putting him at B tier is disrespectful. I can't put him at S tier like I will Patrick Mahomes, but I just feel like I love him as a player. Um, I like his attitude as a player. I really have no problem with him, but at the same time, always feel like something's missing from his game. I don't know who this guy is. This guy looks like Geno Smith's knockoff cousin. So is this guy. Okay. Joe Burrow, I'm going to put him at B tier. Last year I had him at A, and I know I'm going to take slack, but the reason I put him at B tier is not because of his play. It's because of the results during the course of his season. He's very injury prone. I think it's partly because of the franchise he plays for. And you can watch my other video about controversial NFL opinions. I kind of think the Bengals are what I consider a bum franchise, and they just don't produce like winning results like hardly ever. And I don't think Joe Burrow is able to overcome that. Oh, my boy here. I'm a Falcons fan. This is our division mate. Um, I don't know why the name just isn't popping up in my head, but David Carr. David Carr. We'll keep him at F for now. I don't think that's about where he deserves to be. F is kind of like cruel, but this goes to I. I wouldn't say he's like an F quarterback, but yeah, I think that's about right. Kirk Cousins. This is our quarterback right now. I'm gonna put him at D. He's between C and D. Maybe I'll move him up by the end of the video, but I'd put him in the same tier as um, Danny Dimes. I put Danny Dimes in the same tier as Kirk. If they were to have a one-on-one showdown, I just don't know who would win. I almost feel like Danny Dimes is a little underrated, and Kirk is probably rated where he needs to be. Is this Andy Dalton, bro? I'll put him at H. I mean, I don't think anyone's really like Andy Dalton is gonna argue with me about how great Andy Dalton is, unless Andy Dalton's family's watching this, which I mean, it's a privilege to make the NFL. I'm not gonna trash Andy Dalton. He's a steady quarterback. I actually feel like it's a very good job to be a backup quarterback. You almost have like no pressure, but you also make a lot of money. I think it's a pretty solid job. You don't get hit. I mean, sounds like a solid job to me. Jaden. I haven't seen Jaden play too much. I kind of have a feeling he could go either way. He kind of reminds me of how C.J. Stroud was last year, where it's like there are moments where you're like, okay, maybe this guy could be big time, but we just didn't really know. And then he did blow up. So I'm going to say he's about the same as David Carr. I don't think I could put Jaden. I just haven't seen him play enough. I know he won the Heisman, but Heisman winning quarterbacks haven't really like lit up the NFL. I would say in general. I don't know who this is. I tier. I don't know who this is. Looks like a personal trainer at my gym. Justin Fields. F. I kind of feel like he's underrated and overrated at the same time. I saw he gets criticized a lot, and I got to defend Justin Fields because I saw Justin Fields play the Falcons, and to me, he was at least like 2 or 3 tiers above our quarterback. Our quarterback Desmond Ridder, I think he was at least 2 or 3 tiers above him. So to me, he is a lot better than people give him credit for. I think he's like a starter level quarterback. It just depends on like the situation. Um, so I think this is a fair tier for him to be in. Joe Flacco, G. He had a good run last year, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes backups come in and they just surprise everybody by actually being decent. I feel like he kind of had that going for him. Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. Um, although he's been to Super Bowls, I just like if you were to like tell me we're playing Jimmy Garoppolo in the NFC Championship, maybe I'd actually be a little bit nervous because he does have that ability to win games and get to places, but I just like he's not a quarterback that I would fear necessarily. I'm gonna put him at G tier. G for Jimmy or Garoppolo. um, I went to college, I swear. Freaking what's it face? Jared Goff. There we go. C tier. B tier. B tier. I think Goff is a good player. I think he's a solid player. Again, I feel like he's kind of like not mobile, and I feel like he just doesn't light it up in really key games. But he's a steady, consistent, durable quarterback. Who the heck is this? I don't know who this is. I've seen him last year. I don't know who that is. Face just isn't popping up in my head. J Herbs, another B tier. I like J Herbs. Again, almost with Josh Allen. I just feel like something's missing in his game. Like he puts up great numbers. Um, it might be just the team he plays for. We'll see how he does with Harborough. But man, one thing I hate is when everyone starts making excuses because of like situations. Now, I think or Joe Burrow has a legitimate excuse. I think the Bengals have proven that they are a trash franchise. Um, I don't know about the Chargers. I think the Chargers maybe have been decent. I don't know, man. Maybe because they're in LA, used to be in San Diego. I don't know if that's like a winning sports city based on what I've seen there. But Sam Howell, um, G tier. Although he completely outplayed Desmond Ritter, I think he's still a G tier quarterback. I don't know who this is. Um, I'm not sure if he's even really in the NFL. It's probably the most hood looking quarterback I've seen so far. He looks like he might rob you actually. Like he might be a S tier robber. But I don't know about a quarterback. Jalen Hurts, B. I'm being more harsh this year. I had Hurts at an A last year. I had Burrow at an A. I just feel like Jalen Hurts. The reason I have uh Josh Allen in A is because I think Josh Allen has overcome a lot, and he's not one of those guys we start throwing out excuses for. His play does the talking. Jalen Hurts again. Now we're entering the excuse realm. Is his coach good? What happened towards the end of the season? Like what happened? I don't know. Was completely outplayed by Baker and company. That'll knock you down a tier. I just can't imagine Josh Allen being outplayed by Baker and the Bucks in like a pivotal game like that. Like Josh Allen, when Josh Allen loses games, it's typically to like good teams. So I give Josh Allen credit. Lamar Jackson, A. Um, Lamar Jackson is probably one of the most best late. He's one of the best late round quarterbacks I've seen in a while. Like Lamar is great. I just think, man, he kind of crumbles in big games, but I also think he just needs to play his game in big games. I feel like he kind of like doesn't play his game. Granted, it's the NFL. Like you only get really one game, one shot. I know how it is playing. I played a lot of sports myself, but yeah, I just I can't give him S tier. T Law, C, um, aka Sunshine. Like I'm a fan of Trevor Lawrence. I just think, to me, he's almost like Jimmy Garoppolo, where it just seems like I just don't know if he's like all that focused on winning football games. Like I know he has talent, but I just don't know if he has like the desire to like really win games. Like he just seems kind of like a guy that's just living off of his talent. I don't know who this is. I tier. I don't know who this is. I tier. He looks like an accountant. Jordan Love, B. Maybe an A this year. I think Jordan Love has been very impressive in his first season in the NFL. Again, like he almost gets the opposite excuse, like, oh, he plays for Green Bay. I'm like, I don't believe like kind of like the same thing with Brock Purdy. I don't believe you can just plug in anybody off the street and just produce results like that. I think you got to have some type of talent, IQ, feel for the game. You know, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a while. He got a lot of reps in, and there you go. If you practice for freaking 2-3 years, you should be good at something. I keep telling people about soccer. My son just started playing, and I told him I'm like, don't even worry. I'm not even worried about how he's playing right now because man, if you just train hard for like 2 years, you can get really good. Trust me. Mac Jones, H dude. Mac Jones was the biggest whiff of my quarterback prediction career. I thought he would end up being good, but it just wasn't the case. Patrick Mahomes, S tier. Patty Mahomes. I had him in S tier last year, and I might have gotten criticism for it by just how much I inflated Patrick Mahomes before the season started. And what do you know? He ends up winning another Super Bowl. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. Patrick Mahomes is a lot like Tom Brady. He's just concerned with winning Super Bowls. Like he has the flash, he has this, but at the end of the day, he's winning big games consistently. And another mid tier draft pick, kind of. I feel like that's kind of interesting when it comes to NFL QBs. A lot of these top players are kind of like later in the draft guys, at least the first round. I forgot what pick Mahomes is, but I know it was like the first pick. Like a couple teams passed on him, but like I don't think anybody would pass on him if there were a draft right now and he was in it and we knew what he could do. But Patty Mahomes is goated, man, goated. Marcus Mariota, I think Mariota's kind of underrated. I seen him play for the Falcons. I thought he was pretty effective, but he's a Heisman winning quarterback, which is why I say I wouldn't put too much stock into Heisman winning quarterbacks. I think they typically don't turn out all that well. I don't know who this is, but like, is he even a football player? He has like a collared tee on, bro. Baker Mayfield, E. I think he's the first E tier quarterback because I would rather have him on my team over some of these guys. Maybe I'll regret saying Jaden. He might actually be better than Justin Fields. In fact, let's adjust this right now. There we go. I think that's a bit better here. Um, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's fair. Something about David Carr, man. I have like no faith in David Carr. I don't know who that is. This guy. I don't know about that. I just got some hair guys here. Oh, is this Gardner? Uh, F dude. Like F dude. Gardner Minshew. Another guy that is somehow still starting football games. Every now and again, you get guys like this. What was that one guy? Fitzpatrick. It used to be Ryan Fitzpatrick, where it's like you'd look up and he'd still be playing in NFL games. I was like, does like nobody realize this guy's like not that good? I don't know. Like he probably does something off the field that people like. I always feel like that's the case with certain guys. Like maybe in practice he's really good, or like he's just really good to be around. That might be the case with him. Kyler Murray. I've been a fan of Kyler Murray. I just think I feel like his leadership skills are poor from what I've seen. He has a clause in his contract for video gaming. To me, that's what knocks you out of the top 3 tiers. This guy, don't know who that is. This guy looks like an alcoholic. This guy, Penix, I'm going to put Penix in E tier, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm a Falcons fan. That's why. Um, but like, I think I think Michael Penix was a steal of the draft. I'm a Falcons fan, but I like how the Falcons draft. I think the Falcons are one of Atlanta's most competitive franchises for sure. Like I think the Atlanta Hawks are always questionable, but I think the Falcons make smart moves. I think Penix was an absolute steal. I think without a doubt, if you look at his resume versus Desmond Ritter and what we dealt with last year, his resume is really good. I mean, we're talking about a guy that was a Heisman runner-up. We're talking about a guy that played in a national championship for Washington. Washington's not even like a what you would consider like a S tier school, like an Ohio State or like a Georgia or like a Alabama. So he's through a playoff system, so he had to more so earn it. I think Penix can for real play, and I think he'll be like a surprising guy in the NFL. I could see him being like a Jordan Love, where he maybe comes in after a season or two and plays well. But I think there's a lot to like about Penix. The only thing I don't like actually is the fact that he's left-handed. I don't think left-handed quarterbacks typically get anywhere in the NFL, but I'll put him there. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. Dak. See, dude. Dak is to me he's like again like I said an off the field guy. I don't think his on the field performance is necessarily great, especially in playoffs, but he's also not bad. I don't think he's either like this bad. I think he's a little bit better than Kirk. I think he's a little bit better than Danny. Um, I think part of the reason the Cowboys are bad in the playoffs isn't really Dak's fault. I think he shoulders the blame, but at some point, dude, you got to start winning playoff games. Like it's okay after like one or two seasons, but at some point, as many games as you played, you got to start winning games. Like I don't care what pick you are in the draft. Tom Brady was like a fifth or sixth round pick. Like you got to start figuring it out. You can't just be going to the playoffs and losing games. Like you got to start figuring it out. You can't be blaming the coach. The coach has won a Super Bowl. You can't be blaming the owner. The owner has created one of the most valuable teams. And even though I just said it's probably not his fault, it might actually be his fault after examining it. Brock, dude. I love Brock Purdy, man. I'd almost give him S tier. He's like, to me, he's like somewhere between S and A, but I'm going to give him A out of respect for Patrick Mahomes and these two guys, too. I'd almost say he's probably better than Josh and Lamar right now. I like Lamar and I love Josh. I like all these guys, but Brock to me has winning intangibles. I feel like he simplifies the game, which is why I feel like he's so effective. Like he plays on a great team and a great system. Jimmy Garoppolo also got to the Super Bowl with the same team, but like I just feel like he simplifies the game in a way that creates wins. He look at his record as a player, and that about sums up why I put him at A tier. His record does the talking. He's not a high draft pick. He's not going to wow you with his arm or his legs or anything like that. But what he does is keep the game simple. Low turnovers, high completions, spreads the ball around, low ego. Just like he just I feel like he's what you want if you're just trying to win games. Like, just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Like, like a Russell Westbrook, not all super famous. Just let it happen. Just focus on football. To me, he seems like a guy that's just all in on football. There's a lot I like about Brock Purdy, and I said this last year before like the season even started too. And he went to Super Bowl. So I back Brock to the fullest. Mr. Irrelevant and Russell H tier, dude. I feel like Russell Wilson is just too much of a celebrity to be good at football. Almost like Jimmy Garoppolo. I just feel like there's just too much non-football related things going on. This guy, he looks albino, but I'll give him I tier. Anthony Richardson, E. I think he can play. I don't think he'll ever be successful because of his style of play, but he's still a decent quarterback off the bat. I like his attitude. I definitely think he wants to win. I think he has all the right intangibles, but I'm just not sure his style is gonna win. Desmond Ritter, dude. Desmond Ritter to me is the worst quarterback I've ever seen like actually play in an NFL game in multiple NFL games in the same season. Like Nathan Peterman when he played for the Bills, I think he had just one shocking game. But other than that, he wasn't too. I mean, I don't know. I think he was pretty bad too. But Ritter to me, I think if we had any quarterback up here and up, we would have made the playoffs. I just think Ritter to me is like he's just like not a good quarterback. I just like I don't think he's even like a decent backup. I think he's like literally like a third string quarterback, like at best. Um, like I wouldn't even want him as our backup. Like I have no confidence in his gameplay. I have no confidence. Um, I could go in for hours, but I'm a Falcons fan. I've seen him play a lot, and I just like it's been bad, dude. I honestly, like I said, I think if we had any one of these quarterbacks, I think, and I'm talking Andy Dalton too. I think if we had any one of these quarterbacks, with the exception of maybe Mac Jones on a day, no, I think he's better than I think Mac Jones is better. I think the Falcons make the playoffs last year, probably even win a playoff game. A Rod, let's go ahead and bring him back up to. I'm gonna put Aaron Rodgers a B tier. I can't disrespect Aaron like that. I know he's old. I know he's coming off an injury. I know he doesn't go to preseason, but I just think Aaron is always capable of greatness. Kind of like Tom Brady. You know, you say the same thing about Tom. Like I know he's old. I know he's like playing on a different team and yada yada yada. I still think he's got some juice. I think once a juice man, always a juice man. I think Aaron's still got some juice. This guy, I don't know. He just doesn't look like a quarterback to me. I don't even know who it is either. This guy looks like he's in high school. Geno Smith. I think F, dude. I think the Seahawks are reaching by having him as a starting quarterback. It's a great story, but I mean, let's be real here. Like Geno's not lighting anything up, bro. Like he is he's actually almost worse than I would expect. I think if you played in the NFL for 6, 7 years, you should be a little bit better. But I don't know, man. Like Geno Smith to me, I'm glad Geno Smith is not my quarterback. I would just assume that we're not going to win the Super Bowl. Like, at least give me like, I think all these players up here have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Like, it might not be a great chance, but at least there's a chance. I think you start entering the no chance realm here. Like, these guys, I absolutely do not think they could ever win a championship. And I know Joe Flacco has, but Matty, I'll put him at A. I think Matt Stafford's cold. I think he's kind of like in his prime right now. I don't think there's a whole lot missing from his game. I think he can whip the ball for sure. Um, I think he's a great quarterback. I just think he probably needs more help around him, but I think he's a great quarterback. I really can't say anything negative about him. My name is also Matthews, so he's representing Matthews, and I think he's doing a great job. CJ, another A tier. Um, I think obviously the CJ Stroud hype train is just going to continue this year. I think I love the coach. I think their coach is a rising star. It's good to see an African American coach that can actually coach because I feel like there's been a couple that are kind of questionable, and I'm not gonna call any out, but like I feel like some of them are like just riding off the fact that they're African American. But I think D'Amico Ryans is actually a good coach. Um, so I'm happy with that, and I like CJ. I like CJ. I think obviously he just makes big time throws, big time accurate throws. He might have a slight regression this season. We'll see how he does, but I think there's a lot to like about CJ. I wasn't too impressed with his playoff performance, but you know, in its borderline B tier quality playoff performance. But I think I'm gonna take the risk and say he'll have an even better season this year. just because I think the current system and what they have going on is looks really positive. This guy, FI tier, dude. This guy also, um, I don't know who that is. This guy, I've seen him before. I still don't know who he is. This guy, I don't know. Tua, B, no, C, dude. I'm not a huge fan of Tua. I think Tua, like, I think he just can't. Certain guys just don't play well in the playoffs, and to me, that tells me a lot about you as a player. I don't look at it as like a one-off thing. Like, okay, if you lose a playoff game your first season in the playoffs, that's one thing. Although I don't look too highly upon that. But like, I just him guys like Dak, guys like Tua, guys like Trevor. I just when it comes to playoff football, they just can't seem to like do anything positive. Like they'll light it up random times throughout the year, throwing to Tyreek Hill and whatnot. But I don't know about Tua, man. I'm very skeptical about Tua. Carson, H, dude. He's had one of the weirdest NFL careers I've ever seen. Um, like obviously he went from almost like an MVP caliber quarterback to like a backup, which is unusual, considering like it's not an age problem or necessarily an injury problem. It it's very strange. But I don't know. He's one of like I said, I almost feel weird putting him in H tier. I'm gonna put him in G tier because I do think he's better than these guys. Um, but man, what a strange quarterback. Oh, diddlers. Oh, old diddle hands. Dude, like, dude, why would any team? This is why I consider the Browns a bum franchise. Why would any team consider signing this guy? I just like to me it absolutely blows my mind. I just don't see how you could like look at a guy's resume with the resume that he has and want him on your football team, not only on your football team, but as like the leader of your football team. Makes absolutely no sense. And we all know about his like history, with the diddling and the massaging. Like, come on, yo. Like that's something that like doesn't even happen at corporate jobs. That's like some serious criminal behavior. like look, man, just play quarterback and go home. You don't need to do all this extra diddling and fiddling. Just let it go. You get paid a lot of money just to play quarterback. Can you just do that? Like, I don't. That would be the discussion I would have with him as an owner. I'd be like, can you just play quarterback this time? Can you just stop the massaging and the diddling and the fiddling? Can you do that? Like, can you not just find a girlfriend? I mean, you're an NFL multimillionaire quarterback. Can you not just find a girlfriend, like, and just be happy with that? Like, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, this is like a serious problem. Dude, I tier, dude. The Browns are absolutely shocking, bro. I would love to they need to have a Hard Knocks edition version episode when the Browns decided to go with Deshaun Watson. I just want to see, like, what was the thought process with that one? And the money they gave him, it honestly, like, defies logic. It's one of the biggest panic moves I think I've ever seen in sports. It's just absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. When I first I knew it would fail too when I first saw it. I was like, there's just no way that's gonna work. Caleb, my boy. We'll put him at C. I think Caleb has obvious talent. I think he's like a Trevor Lawrence in terms of hype train. I think he's up there with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's up there with Andrew Luck in terms of hype train. Now, I always feel like with these guys, can they get over the edge with all that hype? I often don't see it. Do I think he'll be decent? Yeah. But I think Caleb has enough confidence and enough like ability to go far as a quarterback. I'm not sure about his leadership skills. USC didn't seem to like win big games when it mattered. That's a bit of a question mark. But I'm not gonna bet against Caleb. I think he has a lot of intangibles that work. So I think C is about fair. Obviously we got to see him play. This guy looks like freaking is what's the face trying to get back in the NFL? Jamarcus Russell, is he trying to get back in the NFL? Oh man, I don't have enough time to flame Jamarcus Russell, but let's see here. Bryce, probably the worst number one picks in some time. I think Bryce is. I want to say trash, but I think he's probably like one of the worst number one picks in some time. But I do think he's probably better than David Carr. So let's go ahead and readjust that. I do think he's slightly better than David Carr. But putting him at E would be very generous. Zach Wilson, dude. Zach is like, if you didn't know he was the second pick of the draft, you wouldn't be surprised if he ended up playing in like Canada or something. And then that's the other. Is that Zappy? Dude, Zappy's trash too, bro. All right, so that concludes this quarterback tier ranking. Thank you guys for sticking with me and watching this. It was a lot of fun ranking these QBs. We're gonna see how it goes this season. But thank you for watching, Matty Ice. Be sure to leave a comment and subscribe. Peace out.